Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Clientology Daily Insights. This is going to be a short video, but I hope it is really impactful. In the video, I'm going to share how to turn a presentation into an authority book. And I won't get into the details of why an authority book. That's been covered before. But one of the realizations I've had is that there are a lot of people out there, professionals, authors, who do presentations, they do public speaking as a way to get themselves clients. And I met somebody this week who sort of reminded me, and this is why the post is here. She has over 30 presentations that she has done, and she calls them her, prepackaged presentations. But the reality is, I used to do this too. I'd prepare a presentation, I would agonize over it for a conference, I would put a lot of work into it. And then after the conference, so what? Literally, I'd move on and it'd be like, okay, I need new content for the next event. What I realized was that I could repackage and reuse it and create a keynote address that is 80% standard, and customize it just for the audience. So rather than reinventing the wheel every time, I now just have my sort of standard talking points, and then I'll add the customization in on top of it. And the impact is obviously much more significant because 80% of the presentation is already stuff I'm comfortable with. It's stuff I'm confident in. I can speak in my sleep. I don't need to rehearse over and over and over because I already have. But the unique piece, I can really focus on what the audience wants instead of trying to create everything from scratch. I'm tailoring so I can add some value. Now, that's nice, but I want to add a little bit of a nicer touch. And so I want you to envision a world where if you're speaking, whether it's at a local chamber event or you're speaking at a large international conference, one of the things I discovered, and this was by accident, so I'm not claiming any brilliance here. I discovered I was trying to tweak and edit a presentation to create notes for the audience. It was going to be a live event, then it got postponed, and then it became a virtual, and then it got postponed, and then it became sort of a recorded thing. So I wanted to create something of value. And I'm just going to share an aha moment and give you this gift. I hope it serves you. So if you're a professional or you speak in any way, read on. But just imagine the impact. I've been to many conferences where they hand out those cheesy post-its or photocopied things. They're still hot off the press. They've been just recently stapled. Some are higher end conferences have a nice little bound thing, but you still take notes on paper. So just imagine instead you show up, you're the speaker, and I won't get into the logistics of who pays for it because that's a whole session on its own. But just imagine as a speaker, you show up and everybody in the audience gets a copy of the book, which is on the topic you're about to cover. It's wow, people leave, it's memorable. And more importantly, you can put your message in. A lot of events will say you can't sell from stage. That's okay. We don't want to, we don't have to, because our book will do the work for us. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to share a presentation, and this is nothing fancy, so don't judge the presentation. But this is a slide deck I actually use for daily insights. So as you can see, here is a slide deck, and I'm going to go in and just show you an example. So I have my cover, and this, by the way, would be the title and subtitle of your book. And you might have a graphic here. This becomes the graphic cover. Normally in a presentation, you have a little bio of who you are as a speaker. If you don't have one, you should. Basically, the point of that slide is here's why you should be listening to me today. That becomes your bio for the book. Now, there is, again, you'd have a call to action within the book. You put that slide at the very beginning, at the very end. It's not salesy. You want to offer some value. This way, everybody at the conference leaves with your book and they leave with your call to action. And then the actual segments, so these are all past topics I've talked about, the actual slides, the title on the slide becomes the subject of the chapter. So literally, and I'll explain how you do this and how you assemble it in a second, but think about this is the chapter of the book, and then these are the headings within the chapter. So you're thinking, okay, Jeff, I don't get it. I've got slides. This is not a book. It's just a slide presentation outline, which, by the way, you can save. I'm using PowerPoint. You can save the outline directly from PowerPoint. You just go File. I think it's Print. And, oh, print all slides. Okay, here we go. Yes, print outline. So here is, believe it or not, the outline for your book. You can export that to Word or what have you. But here's what I do. So when I prepare, one of the things I do is I walk through the presentation. I test the timing. I test the language. There are some words I struggle to say. Sometimes they don't roll off the tongue. I rehearse. So what I do is I record the PowerPoints. I record the presentation as I'm talking, and I record the audio of it, and then I upload it to otter.ai to transcribe it. So once you've transcribed it, and pay attention to the times. And what I like about the transcription is it gives me my exact times. So I can say, okay, this is a 45-minute presentation. I need 40. I better trim out 5 minutes, or maybe I need to add 5. But basically, you take the transcription from Otter and you paste it into your new Word document with, again, as I said, the verbiage that you've just spoken becomes the content of the chapter. The slide title becomes the chapter heading, and these become the key points or the headings within the chapter. And just like that, when you're done, it's not going to be fancy. You're going to need to tweak it. You're going to take out the ums and the ahs and the likes and the filler. Ultimately, you will have a very good draft of a book based on your signature topic. And again, you can easily upload that to Amazon to self-publish. And when you go to the events, you take along, if you have 100 people in the audience, you take 100 copies of the book. Everybody gets one. And instead of feeling salesy, you can offer, anybody who wants this autographed, I'll be outside the room at the back. Come see me. So this is the number one mistake I see people doing speaking gigs do, and I made this over and over. You show up, you speak your heart out, and then there's nothing for the audience to do with you after. They don't have a call to action, they don't have a next step. Whereas if you give them a copy of your book, they will show it to other people. People will be talking about it. People will want to get to know you. And more importantly, after the conference is over and they've lost or thrown out all of the materials, the handouts and things, they'll still have your book in hand and they'll know they can reach out to you. So I hope that served. This was just a quick little teaser. Again, I'll be doing more topics on this exact subject as we go, but I just wanted to get it out there and show you that if you have presentations, they can easily become a book. And by the way, fun fact, a 1-hour presentation, give or take, is exactly the amount that you need in order to create an authority book. It's the right amount. So if your presentation is only 30 minutes, then you're going to have to flesh it out and add some stuff. But 1 hour is the sweet spot. Now, if you're one of those people who does 3-hour master classes, I'll give you a quick little tip. That will become 3 authority books. You're not going to write it all as one book. That becomes big, onerous, hard for people to read. So you want to have a short book that people can consume in less than an hour. So the beautiful thing is an hour of talking, it takes about the average person an hour to read. Obviously, there's some elements we add, but that's a good rule of thumb. So if you are a presenter, if you have a presentation, I would strongly encourage you to take a look at it, record it, transcribe it, and turn it into a book. Thank you.